Hello, folks. It's Pops here from ILWPOD, and we're here for our weekly review show. And it's oh wait, fuck, you're not nasty.
Nope.
With the HE double hockey sticks.
It was me, Austin.
Oh,
it was
wow.
me all along. No, Nasty's fired.
Oh.
I'm Justin Woolwine.
You're
Obviously,
definitely not nasty. You're ashy though.
Ashy, yeah, you said that in the last take. But anyways, no, Nasty's fired. He's been hashtag fire Nasty Nate finally prevailed. Shout out Tommy T. Shout out Daniel. He just couldn't do his job right, man. So we're here. New Year's Revolution 2006. I was a baby. You was a youngster. Go ahead.
I was a youngster, huh? Yeah, 2006 Elimination Chamber video package starts out the show. It was kind of fire. I enjoyed it. Showed all the pain and punishment that the
Well
past.
put together. Yes.
You know, it was a well put together package. I love the stage in this set. In this era, they did the elaborate stages with all the pyro. I really enjoyed that. Joey Styles and Coach were on the announce team, and
Great
Joey
tandem.
Styles. I'm a big fan of. I was never really a big fan of Coach, but some of his lines on this one,
I appreciate him now.
yes, that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's where I was going. Was some of the stuff on this I really enjoyed. It was the first pay-per-view of 2006. 11,000 people in attendance. The first match was the Intercontinental title match, and we get the Money in the Bank briefcase holder Edge, accompanied by Lita, going up against the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the Intercontinental Champion. Right off the rip, Coach throws some sharp jabs at the Nature Boy about his road rage incident and recent divorce. I guess this was right at that time where Flair was having a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I know Vince helped him out through the divorce. Flair's talked about it a bunch. And Flair was always wild. But even at this age, in this stage of his career, he might have been one of the best in the ring, period. No questions asked. And he was going against a young Lita, or a young Edge with Lita.
Yeah.
And there is no better pairing as far as a valet and like manager role.
No.
I thought they were excellent. It was some of something special to watch and some of Edge's best work, I thought. There was one spot in the match where Flair goes to go off the top rope, and normally, you know, he's always caught. Edge went to go to try to slam him. Flair gives him an eye poke, and then Lita jumps up, grabs Flair's leg. He pokes her in the eyes.
Yep.
And then Flair hits the move. This might be not the only time, but one of the only times. You won't see it often. Flair hitting the sledge from off the top rope. Absolutely loved it.
Edge and Lita, I think, is a great pairing. I hated him as a kid, but Edge got his edge when he was put with Lita. Lita, I think, really made him lean into the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist, made him elevate himself to become a main event player. Without Lita and all the drama that surrounded him coming with her and the Matt Hardy stuff, I don't think we would have ever got the Edge that we know today, that we love now.
Well, I know from living through it that they were trying to push Edge before this, and he would pick up steam and then lose it.
Yes.
Quite often.
Yep.
He would be hot as the Intercontinental Champion and real hot as, you know, the European Champion or doing whatever, and then it would cool off. And he would kind of fall to the wayside.
Definitely.
And they would throw him in some kind of mixed tag team with somebody else, or, you know, a put together tag team, not something besides
a
him
random
person.
pairing.
Yes.
You know, Flair as Intercontinental Champion, I thought was really cool, especially at this stage in his career.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool for him to. He didn't get a lot of opportunities later in his career. Other than like he held the tag titles a couple times, whether it was with Evolution or I believe him and Piper won it at one point in time even. But seeing Flair hold singles gold was really cool.
Yeah.
Especially at this like stage of his career. I like the psychology of this match. Edge playing the heel and Flair playing baby was very interesting, seeing how Flair dominated his career by being a heel. Just seeing how Flair handles that, sometimes falling for it, sometimes having sympathy for what's going on was really interesting. Edge being the younger of the two, attacking Flair before the match was a a nice touch. I think Edge thinking he needs that upper hand to get the advantage over Flair, and then really utilizing Lita with all the distractions, whether it's the eye poke, whether it's Flair chasing her around the ring. When Edge finally gets the upper hand, it's due to Lita, which I think was a pivotal moment in the match.
I really liked Flair chasing Lita, and then the chops Flair delivers. At this stage in his career, even he's still throwing those chops
Stiff.
from when he was wrestling Steamboat in the 70s.
Yes,
it
yes,
seemed
yes.
like there was one point where Flair catches Lita on the apron,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes to bring her in. Edge comes running up, and he back body drops Edge over top of Lita to the floor.
Beautiful
I
spot.
love that spot. And then he does bring Lita in.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes for the figure four, and out of nowhere, Edge is back in there, crushes him with the briefcase.
Batters him.
For 2 times.
Yes,
He gets disqualified. Flair retains the title.
absolutely.
I thought this was a 10 out of 10 as far as the announce team.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it would have had a little more time.
Okay.
Was one
I
thing.
think it could have.
Yeah, I think another 3 minutes, maybe.
I mean, we'll get to this later, but I think there's even matches maybe you could have cut and gave this more time.
Yes, I do too. Next, we get a backstage interview with Ty Grisham. It was cool seeing Ty Grisham. And this interview was kind of crazy. It's Kurt Angle, and it's a heel angle with Daivari. And these are quotes. I'm gonna read Angle's promo word for word just because this wouldn't fly today.
No.
You couldn't get away with this.
Don't send your hate tweets to Pops.
Don't
This is direct quotes.
Send them to Peak Angle.
Peak Angle.
I hope the U.S. loses the war in Iraq. My favorite country is France. I'm not a very big fan of the black people, and he did the air quotes. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I just, and then he said, if I could go back in time and I could make one person tap out, I wish I could travel back in time and I could make Jesus tap out.
That's fire.
I just thought Angle was at the top of his game. Oh my God! But this was out of control. I couldn't believe what he said, but it was great. I loved it. I wish they could still do stuff like this today. Sometimes pushing the boundaries on some comedy. I know sometimes it's a little edgy and people's feelings get hurt, but fuck their feelings.
I liked it because it made sense when you put Angle with Daivari and then you make him turn anti-American and then saying the most anti-American things possible.
That's what he was doing.
It was great, and it's all in the name of fun, which I think makes it even better. Like, there's no malice behind what Angle's saying. No. He's just having fun.
Yeah.
And the point is obviously to trigger you. And I think in 2006, it was the internet wrestling community was just quiet enough to where it worked.
Yeah. Well, there really wasn't.
No, I mean, there was like your vlog or your...
It wasn't like today.
No, it wasn't like you go on Twitter and you can spew whatever you want.
No, definitely not. Next, we get a women's title match for the women's championship. We get Mickie James versus Trish Stratus. Mickie beat Victoria for the number 1 contenders to enter this match.
Yes.
Mickie just came to the WWE not too long before this, and she come in as Trish Stratus' number 1 fan. I thought this match was great. Great storytelling. The first phase was hard-hitting action. They were ahead of their time for this as far as the Divas. I just thought they was hitting hard-hitting, fast-paced action at the beginning of the match, and you didn't get a lot of that. And they got a lot of time. Mickie hits the Stratusfaction, but couldn't get the 3. Trish hits the chick kick to retain the title. I really enjoyed the whole match.
So, I mean, key things I thought were really cool. I mean, even before you get the match, they show, like, the video package, and it puts over the Mickey's biggest fan, like, Trish's biggest fan gimmick, which I didn't hate the gimmick. It was just, looking back, it's rough. To say the least. The thing I liked the most, honestly, pre-match, was Flair is still in the ring.
Yes.
Whenever they come back from the video package, they got to carry Flair back, which I thought was a nice touch that up to this point, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, it was just very interesting for me. As far as the match goes, I like how Mickie at first hesitates. Like, she hesitates to hurt Trish.
Right.
And then until it gets real back and forth.
Until
and that
Trish kind of...
She
kind of takes the shortcut.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. They didn't give the women a lot of time back then.
I feel like they got
They got a lot of time. But as we'll see later on in the show,
there's something you could have cut.
There's some stuff that they do that is just different than it's done today. And I know, like, I was listening to Something to Wrestle With the other day, and Bruce made a comment about looking back on, even, for instance, the Survivor Series. He's very fond of those 5-on-5, 5 to survive matches, but they wouldn't hold up to that.
That's why
and if you look at the Attitude Era in general, it was great at the time.
Yes.
It was perfect for the
was
time.
Punk and grungy. And
yes, and everything was Generation X and all this. But nowadays, it just wouldn't fly. Everybody would be in their feelings.
Everybody be pissed.
Pissed, upset, angry. Next, we get a backstage segment, and it's Maria interviewing Maria.
Yes, I love this.
About the bra and panties match she's going to be in, but she's rudely interrupted by Gregory Helms, who says he's going to beat the King. So no puppies comments on commentary tonight, which I thought was crazy. And then as they're walking away, then we see Shelton Benjamin and his mama. And I love Shelton and his mama.
His mama's great.
She says that she's going to get Shelton a match tonight. And Shelton's got to win. Next up on the card, we get Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, before you get there, it cuts from Mama to Lita and Edge going into the room with Todd Grisham. They're doing WWE.com, instant access, and Edge tells Lita to go take care of their obligation there because he's got some business to attend to, which I thought was a really good teaser for what would happen later in the night, which they go on to explain on commentary. But go ahead with the Helms and Lawler.
Well, next we get, as I said, Jerry the King Lawler versus Gregory Helms. I don't think the Gregory Helms character clicked with the WWE fans.
No.
The King mocked Helms with the hurricane pose.
Stand back.
Stand back.
Hurricane coming.
I really like that. I thought that was amazing. Coach, the King's first match was against one of the wise men, and I thought at the first Christmas, I thought that was amazing. That I think King probably wrote that for Coach. If I had to guess, Jerry the King Lawler probably wrote that line for the Coach.
A lot of Coach's lines feel written by Lawler. If you want me to be honest, looking back now that you said that, it's like
I can see him writing some of his verbiage or doing it for the announce team maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of Lawler's lines might be Pritchard's lines.
I can see that.
Or I think the King did a lot of his own though. I think the King was almost all his own. So maybe the Coach's lines might have been some Pritchard lines.
Pritchard and King. Yeah. There's definitely inspiration taken from other places.
I liked it too. Helms goes and gets on the headset at the announce table and mocks Jerry the King Lawler. So it was like tit for tat. I thought that was great. Classic Jerry the King Lawler though. He comes
punches,
off with the
fist drop.
From the middle rope. The King hits his fist and drops it off the middle rope. I thought that was great. Picks up the victory.
This match overall, it was not a bad match. As me and you were going over the pay-per-view, I was just like my opinion is Helms and Lawler could have happened on a Raw. This is definitely, and that's a common theme. A lot of the segments and stuff I feel like could have been Raw heavy.
That was just the way they did things back then, though. They did it this way, and especially with young stars like Helms, who they was trying to give a singles push and get out of that comedic role.
Yes.
They probably seen something else in. He thought he could play a serious character. They would throw Lawler. Always. It would always be, you know what I mean? Whether it be Bret Hart or whoever they were trying to get to that next.
They'd feed him to Lawler.
Well, Lawler would get him over.
Yes.
You know, that was something he did for a lot of guys. I can remember having matches with a lot of young talent to try to help them and get them over.
Before we go over it, something I think could have been really interesting that might have been a missed opportunity is if they separated Greg Helms from the Hurricane. Like if you did Greg Helms on Raw and then have him go over to SmackDown as the
And be the
Hurricane.
Hurricane.
I think, or even like one match he's Greg Helms, and then later in the show, like maybe Hurricane shows up and does something. You know what I mean? Just I think there could have been something done there. That way, it might have elevated the Greg Helms character because you'd see two sides, kind of like two faces of Foley. You get two faces of Helms. I think that's something, and they kind of teased it with Helms, like when he was Hurricane, when he was just in his like normal attire, and he was kind of playing like the Clark Kent character. But I think heel Greg Helms with the face side of the Hurricane could have been interesting.
Yeah, I think it could have been too. Next, we get Mama Benjamin, and she's moving around backstage trying to get food for Shelton, to feed Shelton. And she runs into Viscera. And
this holds up. Does not hold up at all.
Viscera was the world's largest love machine at the time. Big Daddy
shit.
V.
Yes, bro.
And he tries picking up Shelton's mama. She's been over. He's talking about how much junk's in that trunk and all this stuff. And Big Daddy V's trying to get Sheldon's mama, get some of Sheldon's mama, and
she's not having it, bro.
Sheldon's mom's not having it. She tells Big Daddy V she's got something for him.
She's got some action for him later.
She's got some action for him later. And then we move on and we get a hype video to build Triple H and the Big Show, the world's largest cast. Is all I gotta say. Triple H takes the sledgehammer.
Breaks the hand.
Breaks the hand on the steps. And Big Show has the largest cast in the world.
I thought it was cool, though. Because it was so unrealistic, but it looked...
It looked like a sledgehammer.
It just looked like a big, sledgehammer.
Like a sledgehammer on his hand. I loved it. And what did you think about this era of Triple H? With the giant... handlebar mustache, and he was fat.
He was out. Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. And we'll get into it later when we break down the match more. The one thing I will say is, even though Triple H looked out of shape, him as the heel in this was very interesting. Show being the babyface was very interesting.
He wasn't just a heel; he was the chicken shit heel.
He was a chicken shit prick heel.
He was running around. Starts out giant chasing him all around with the big cast, trying to hit him with the big cast. Triple H at one point pulls out a sledgehammer, and the giant punches through the handle, breaks the handle.
Accent, yes.
Yeah. It was perfection the way they used the cast. I love it. And then Big Show misses Triple H and hits the ring post and shatters the cast.
Yes.
Cracks it.
Excellent.
Triple H rips the cast apart, and you can see the bruised hand of the Big Show. And Triple H just goes to work on that hand. The game dominates the Big Show. The whole match. And Big Show, it's hard to get sympathy on a giant.
And they did it.
They
did it excellent.
So I really like that. I thought that was great. Triple H tries to use the sledgehammer, and like I said, Big Show broke it with his hand, with his bare hand. Triple H smashes Show's hand with a chair on the ring steps.
That was vicious.
Show goes for a left-handed choke slam, but Triple H uses the head of the broken sledgehammer, cracks Big Show in the head. Then he hits him with a pedigree and completely buries the Big Show like he's done so many other people. 1, 2, 3. I really enjoyed this. The whole angle with the cast, the hand, the sledgehammer. I give it 2 thumbs up. But my only complaint is I think the Big Show getting all that sympathy, I think if he would have got his comeuppance here.
And I don't think he ever does.
Triple H, no, and nobody ever did. At this point,
Not Triple H.
Triple H broke his hand with the sledgehammer on the steps. This was his redemption right here.
And he didn't get it.
And then the storyline moves on and he never gets it.
Yes.
And it went like that with so many people.
Yeah, this was the reign of terror.
Yes, and I just...
Luckily, this was the butt end of the reign of terror.
Oh, my gosh.
But one thing I will give Triple H this, selling... Excellent at selling.
Oh, yeah.
Triple H is, and I don't think I realized it as much until really watching this match. And
well, they don't call him the cerebral assassin or the game for nothing. He is a student of the game. His in-ring work is excellent. But I have a problem with him burying people. just because
be
you're
the
married.
tag team champion, bro.
When you're married
married Steph.
You're married to Steph, and like I don't think you need to throw your weight around.
Absolutely not.
And he threw his weight around all over the Big Show here. Next, we get backstage interview, and it's Masters and Carlito kind of back there, and everyone in the match, but the two of them have been champion, so they're going to work together. They're going to team up. They're going to work together.
The storyline they went with.
Yeah,
I liked it though.
Because
it kind of gives them advantage.
Well,
which
and
we'll
then
dive
it leads on into. I know they had tagged once or twice before this, but this was really the beginning of their tag team, and they went on to tag together for quite some time.
Yeah, they had a pretty good reign.
Yes. So next we get Shelton's mama, and Shelton's mama pulls him out to the ring, and she makes him call out Viscera, and take this ass whooping, as she says. She says, tell Viscera to get out here and take this ass whooping. We don't take them, we give them.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed my ass off. I said, wow.
Shelton's mama's hilarious.
Yeah. King joined the announce booth at this point, too. He come back, so I thought that was great. So next we get Viscera and Jerry versus Shelton Benjamin. The King, when Shelton was young, he fell in with the wrong crowd. His parents. The King's lines are priceless. You can't beat that. This match really surprised me. The action in it, some of the stuff Shelton did was amazing. Some of the stuff Viscera did was amazing. Yeah. Mama Benjamin hits Viscera with the purse with the brick in it, and Shelton picks up the win.
I thought it was a good win for Shelton. I like the psychology of the big man versus the little man. Shelton worked the legs. He used his athleticism to avoid some of the big moves that Viscera would go for. And then seeing his mama out there to give him that edge against the much larger opponent with the loaded purse was cool. I think they could have went a lot further with this than they do, like later on. And at this era of Benjamin, I think was ready for a top spot. And I think it was missed, them not putting babyface Benjamin over and making him into the world title scene. And we see later, like, obviously Cena's in it, and Cena dominates this scene for the next 10 years. But Benjamin should have been one of those guys that at least had, even if it was a transitional run, I think Benjamin should have been.
Yeah, I would have liked this.
He was the gold standard.
Yeah. Next we get a backstage segment. And it's HBK getting ready for the chamber in his locker room.
I thought this was cool.
And Vince comes in and goes on to tell Shawn that nobody in history has ever entered number one in the Elimination Chamber and lasted the whole thing. So there's no chance in hell that Shawn Michaels will win. And Shawn Michaels says, hold on, Vince. Wait a second. What about whenever I entered the Royal Rumble first and won the Royal Rumble? Nobody had ever done that either.
Nope.
And then he goes on to talk about the first ladder match.
First Hell in a Cell.
First Hell in a Cell. So,
I would like to point out.
I really thought this was great.
Technically speaking, Michaels enters last.
Well, yeah, but
saying.
What they're saying
I know what they're saying. I'm on a technicality,
it's reversed, though.
He did enter.
After this, we get the bra and panties gauntlet match. First to enter is Maria. And then we get Candice Michelle. Candice Michelle loses all her clothes real quick, and Tori Wilson enters. Next, Tori loses, and we see Victoria enter. And she eliminates Maria finally. May and Moolah enter the ring next.
This was wild.
And Mae Young just starts stripping.
It was gross.
Yes, and Jerry the King Lawler says her bra size is 34 long.
34 long is insane.
and then he says, you know what I say about panties? Not the best thing in the world, but real close to it. And I thought that was priceless.
King,
like you just couldn't make this shit up.
King
like
was
wild
on commentary.
The whole panties, not the best thing in the world, but the best,
Well,
the closest thing to it
is insane.
And next we get Ashley out, and she wins the match.
Yes.
And then she strips down to her bra and panties too for everybody.
Reason.
So everybody wins, as the king would say. And then after that, we get what we all came to see.
It's the Elimination
The
Chamber.
Elimination Chamber match. And Kane enters last because he has won his Beat the Clock challenge matches leading up to
I really
this.
like that part. I think that's something I think they should bring back. The Beat the Clock challenges were so cool as a kid, and they brought so much stakes. Because, like, I remember Batista beat somebody in, like, 13 seconds one time.
Yep.
And then, there was, 2 or 3 matches after that. And somebody does end up beating Batista, but it was just by, like, a hair. But, like, seeing Batista come out and squash somebody, and then you see
somebody else
try, it doesn't work, somebody else try, it doesn't work, and then the last person trying it works, was cool. And I liked that they did it for things like the Chamber to up the stakes.
I thought this was really cool, too. Chris Masters comes out next. He's the next to come to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Masters' 23rd birthday.
Younger than me.
At this time. That's crazy. And Masters, former podcast guest here on ILWPOD. I thought that was cool. Carlito is the next in the pod to come to the ring. And then we get the Olympic gold medalist.
Pete Angle.
Yep. With Daivari. And last, we get HBK and John Cena.
Yep.
John Cena being the WWE champion and defending his title here in the Elimination Chamber.
So, I mean, with this, I like the dynamic putting Cena and HBK together to start. They pretty much run through a lot of the match together. Vince made it to where Michaels had to start from this number 1 spot, which commentary did a really good job at putting over. I also like that because then it leads us to what would eventually happen at WrestleMania between Shawn and Vince. So, like, the writing was on the wall here, which I think it's cool when you start planting seeds early. Cena is the first to hit the steel floor on the outside via HBK, sending him out there. Michaels stays in control for most of this opening sequence until 10 seconds before Carlito comes in. John Cena kind of gets the upper hand, and this is when we get Carlito coming in, attacking Cena, and we start this arc of the Chamber, which I thought was really cool. How you have Carlito wanting to get at Cena. We'll eventually see Masters want to get at Cena. Angle want to get at Cena. Everybody's after Cena, and you feel like the odds are stacked. Styles, Joey Styles, is an absolute golden commentary. It's sad that he didn't have a longer run in WWE. I understand why he didn't, just differences or whatever. But just Joey Styles is gold. I've always loved Joey Styles.
Next we get Angle coming in the ring. And Angle goes nuts.
Suplexes.
Everybody. And it suplexes them out onto the metal grate outside of the ring.
Michaels lands stiff, bro.
Yes, and then he catapults Michaels into the cage.
Yep.
Causing a huge laceration above the eye, bleeding everywhere. And then he locks in the ankle lock on Carlito.
Yep.
And Carlito's hands like this, and the countdown begins for who's coming out next, and we know it's Masters.
And commentary puts it over very well. Masters is going to... Carlito's just got to hold on long enough for Masters to make it out. And I like how they say it's 10 seconds, and then they do the chamber thing where the lights go over the pod, and they can't get the door open. But Masters comes out, and Angle ends up putting Masters in the ankle lock. Cena interrupts. Angle reverses that, puts him in the master lock, and then what do you know? Shawn Michaels comes out of nowhere, sweet chin music.
You mean Angle put Cena in the
ankle lock, and then HBK comes out of nowhere, sweet chin music, Angle's out.
And the one who was running the match in complete control since he came in is eliminated. So now we're down to 4. We got Carlito and Masters working together, and we got Cena and Michaels.
And Carlito and Masters do a great job at this point of working together, and at this point working HBK, who's a bloody mess. Cena, who's been beaten down, being there at the first entrant, and then we get Kane. And Kane enters with fire up his ass. He comes out, takes out Carlito, takes out Masters. Kane's diving clothesline off the top rope, honestly, a thing of beauty. I didn't realize he was so nimble back in the day. Carlito and Masters try to double team Kane, but Kane ends up getting down, but does that signature sit up, and that's when the tide changes. Both Carlito and Masters then get the upper hand on Kane real quick and double pinning. Both of them lay on him, and you can see Kane trying to fight out of it.
I really like that spot too with both of them.
Yes.
There was great double team action.
And then Kane's gone, which then it's Masters focusing on Cena, which I thought was really cool, and Carlito focuses on HBK. They divide and conquer, which was really nice until HBK gets the comeback. He gets his comeback sequence, the flying kind of forearm nip up, and then he hits both with the atomic drop to take out both of them, which I like how he split that sequence that he normally does on one person on two people and really adapted it well, clears them out of the way, eventually hits a big elbow drop on Cena, still beautiful at this stage in his career, hits Cena with the sweet chin music, but then Carlito eliminates HBK with this corkscrew DDT. It's kind of like an inverted crossroads, which was beautiful. Cena hits the 5-knuckle shuffle on Carlito, but Masters saves Carlito from the FU, and Masters hits a DDT on the floor of the chamber on Cena, and this is when Cena becomes a bloody mess. And the one thing I guess I could critique about Cena is you can tell he's blatant. Yeah. Like both the times that he did it twice. Once on the outside, he rolls over away from the camera, you can see him, and then when they bring him in the ring, they do it again, and he does it. But this is where we get to see Masters and Carlito work perfection, team together, double teaming him until Masters primes him up for the master lock.
Well, first it starts out they argue.
Yeah, there's
Carlito's, Masters is like, you pin him. And Carlito's like, no, you put him in the master lock. And he's like, no, you pin him. And then he's like, no, you beat him with the master lock. And Masters gets all pumped up.
Yes.
And then puts him in the master lock. And as soon as he does, Carlito hits Masters with a low blow. And pins Masters. Rolls him up and pins him. And no sooner than he does, Cena rolls Carlito up. 1, 2, 3. Cena is still your WWE champion. Bloody mess in the ring.
And then we hear it. No chance. Vince McMahon comes out, interrupts, says, hey, before. And I like how they did this immediately. Gives the crowd no time to get up and start walking away. Hey, we're not done. Pick that chamber up because Mr. Money in the Bank is cashing in his Money in the Bank privileges. Edge comes out, and we get impromptu Edge versus a bloody, battered WWE champion John Cena. And I like how Edge, as the opportunist, plays it off a little bit. He starts with a couple strikes, kicks him in the head a couple times, goes for the pin. Cena kicks out, goes for another pin, kicks out again, and
hits the spear.
Cena kicks out. We have our hope. A little bit of hope spot, but Cena immediately gets hit with another spear. And what do you know? Edge, the radar superstar, wins his first WWE Championship. I thought it was a great way to end the show, man.
I did too, and I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. I know, like we said, these older pay-per-views from the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era don't really hold up today.
No.
But in context of what they were and how wrestling was then, I loved it. Thought it was amazing. Coach, King, Styles, I thought was great. Seeing Carlito in the Elimination Chamber, he did a couple things you've never seen do before, like that punch over the top.
That was beautiful.
And almost broke his tailbone, or probably did break his tailbone. Yeah. That was beautiful. The inverted crossroads maneuver, that was amazing. Flair on this was outstanding. It was outstanding. Shelton and his mama was amazing. Angle, even with his ridiculous, outlandish promo, loved it.
I think there's just a couple matches that I think could have been moved elsewhere, and maybe we could have had other things on the card, prioritized a little better. But overall, I think it was an excellent show. I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed looking back. It really kind of brought me in that time machine kind of thinking about the time. And this was the age when we watched Monday Night Raw every week with Papa and Scotty and Bruce. So it was just really cool to kind of get in that frame of mind and get back in that time frame and enjoy some wrestling.
I actually didn't get to watch this pay-per-view when it happened.
Okay.
I was incarcerated at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see this pay-per-view when it happened. I can remember going back and watching it afterwards.
Okay.
When I was released with you. Me and you watching it again. So it was nice to go back and get to check it out again. And then get to come here and...
review it.
Yeah, review it together.
I just want to say thank you for having me on. Nasty Nate no longer here. I'm glad you got a suitable replacement. With that said...
As always, all praise to God.
Thank you guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Keep the momentum going so we can keep bringing you wonderful videos. And let us know in the comment section. Do you want me to take the place, or would you like to see the return of the despicable, the nasty Nate? Let us know. See you guys next time.